Guys. Welcome. Welcome to the KFC Yum Center here in Louisville for the 2026 NCAA Women's March Madness. We appreciate student athletes from the University of Rhode Island joining us now. And as a reminder to the media, check your phones and make sure they're on silent. And if you have a question, just raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you and let us know who you are, where you're from, and then ask a question to a specific student athlete. If you're on Zoom with us, we will get to those questions after we take questions in the room. And recording press conferences on cell phones or cameras is prohibited here in the press room. With that, welcome, and questions from the room. Front row here.
Natalie Heverin with the 9 Sports. After the championship game, Brooklyn talked about wanting to work on having a better first half in the NCAA tournament. Is that something you all have worked on in practice over the last week and a half? And if so, what specifically have you worked on?
Yeah, I feel like we've been working on a lot of different stuff. That has been something we've been working on, but in different ways. I feel like every single first half has been different, and I feel like it's just been pulling everything together from the start. Like the way we end practice, the way we start practice. Like we're really concentrating on the way we start practice because we like to practice how we play. So we like to make practices even harder than games. So especially starting practices with a lot of energy and a lot of intensity is our goal. So yeah, that's been something we're getting.
Sophia?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We definitely take practices very seriously because we do want to practice how we play, and it's really been important for us to start practice really well, like Albina said, and end practice really well.
Okay, stay on this side there in the front row.
Bill Kotrip at the Providence Journal. For both of you, you're such unique players in terms of style. Albina, you being a true post, it's mostly stretch fives now, and everybody wants to shoot threes, and you work on the block. And Sophia, your ability to rebound at your size and be a disruptor the way you are is sort of unique in terms of guards across the country. I wonder just how you both arrived at the way you play in this lineup and just how you've developed your strengths over the course of the year.
Sophia first, please.
I think just in the beginning of the season, we kind of had a conversation with the whole team and the coaching staff about certain roles that we have on the team. And for me, it's just being a true point guard and leading the team and just doing the little things that nobody else really wants to do. The dirty work is kind of my job. And then obviously Albina's job is just punishing people in the paint. And yeah, we just had that conversation from the start, and we've just carried it out through the whole season.
Yeah, adding to that, I think we had a really good conversation, just like Soph said, before the season started. And I really like that everybody has really done their jobs really well and gone into their roles really well. And I feel like that also helped me a lot play and do the stuff I've done until now is really okay, my team needs this and I have the size for it. And I'm going to do it as best as I can. And I feel like doing that has given us a lot as a team.
Okay.
Talia Goodman on 3. I know it was a while ago now, but there aren't a lot of double-digit seeds who have experience, getting a win like you had over NC State on the road. How much do you feel like that game, kind of looking back at it, helps prepare you and helps get you ready for a game like this in a road environment like that?
Albina first, please.
I feel like it helped us a lot just being used to having big crowds, but also having those big crowds where they really want us to lose and we only have each other there. It's only us against them. We only have the coaches. We only have each other. And I feel like games like that really helped us stay connected and really battle tested us to where we can play tomorrow and be confident as a team that we've been battle tested and we just need to go and play hard together.
Sophia, please.
Yeah, kind of just going off of what Albina said, just preparation. I feel like that NC State game really prepared us for the rest of the season and all the tough teams that we played, and prepared us to play all the tough teams in this tournament. Like we're coming in this tournament to really compete, and I feel like NC State kind of just proved that we can really compete with these tough teams.
Thank you. Back to the front row.
Natalie Heverin with the 9 Sports. Albina, you mentioned, you guys worked on a lot of things over the last week and a half. For either both of you, what else did you work on, both before you knew your opponent and afterwards?
I feel like for me, it was mostly I feel like we had so much time compared to through the season. The games came like we had a game every 3-4 days, so it was nice to have that extra time just to work on shooting, on finishing through contact, those small things that usually you don't have time to do during the season, especially during the end of the season. So I feel like for me, it was a lot of different finishing, a lot of different small stuff that helps you in the game that you don't really notice, like different kind of like defense stuff too, like stuff like that.
Okay, next question. We're going to go ahead and take a quick one from our Zoom audience. Chapel Fowler is with us. Chapel?
Hey guys, appreciate the time. This is Chapel Fowler with the State newspaper from Columbia, South Carolina. Your coach obviously very close with Dawn Staley, played with her at UVA. She mentioned on the Selection Sunday show that she was going to have Dawn speak to you guys before the tournament. Did that happen? And if so, what was Dawn's message to your team?
Sophia?
So that didn't happen, but it could still happen, and we're just waiting to hear some wise words from a really good coach.
Well put. Thank you. All right, back in the room. Bill, front row.
Albina, just Coach and Coach A obviously put so much emphasis on international recruiting. I went to college an hour from my house. You made a huge commitment to come from Finland. I wonder just what went into that decision, and how you got to a point where you felt confident that Rhode Island was a place that you could come and be comfortable, and just what sort of courage does that take to go that far away from home?
Well, the confidence came through talking with the coaches. I had a great relationship with Coach A, with Tammy especially, which was interesting because I talked to Coach A for a really long time until I talked to Tammy. But when we talked, it was like she has been coaching me for many years. And it takes a lot of courage. It's really hard, but it's my family being there for me. It's my friends from back home, my friends here, my teammates here who take really good care of me. Like, it's stuff that nobody sees, but it means everything to me. And also just the love of basketball. When you love playing the sport and you love doing it, it takes you all around the world. And for me, it took me to Rhode Island, and I feel like I'm really blessed to be part of this group and this school.
Anything else in the room? Natalie, front row.
Natalie Heverin with the 9 Sports. For either or both of you, is there any team that you've played this season that you think resembles Alabama, that you've kind of been able to take that experience and into your practices?
Albina first, please.
I feel like Alabama is a mix of a few teams. I don't feel like we've played anybody quite like them. It's a mix of a few A-10 teams, a few teams we've played before conference started. So it's good to see how we get to put everything we've learned through the season to the game.
Yeah, like what Albina said, Alabama's kind of like a mix of Davidson, they can shoot the ball really well. George Mason, they're really physical, and also Richmond, they can also shoot the ball really well. So I feel like just playing in the A-10 has really helped prepare us for this game.
Anything else? All right. Oh, one more. Here we go, front row.
Natalie Heverin, the Nine Sports. This is kind of a fun question, and Albina, I don't know if you'll have an answer to it, but have you are there any childhood March Madness memories or things that you remember that make you extra excited to be playing on the March Madness stage?
Sophia first, please.
I don't know about like childhood, but I remember the girl from Notre Dame. I'm blanking on her name, but she's really good. She hit like 2 buzzer beaters in a row, and it was just like crazy to see. And it's like dang, I could be there one day. So that's a really cool memory for me.
As an international, as a kid, I didn't watch a lot of March Madness. But I remember when I was a teenager, like early teenage years, like you just start seeing these during March Madness, all these clips of these crazy shots. And I don't remember, but it was, I feel like it was a men's game, and this guy, like it was a random guy who just like made this crazy 3 and they won the game. And I feel like that's like, I was like I would love to play in one of those games one day. And I feel like being here today is it's really crazy. And yeah, I'm really excited. I've heard a lot about March Madness and what it's like, so I'm really excited to experience it.
Good deal. All right. Thank you for your time. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
We'll see you then. Coach, welcome to Louisville. Good to see you. I got you set up on that.
I got you right in the middle.
You're good. Yeah. All right, welcome, Coach in. And we appreciate your time today. Welcome to Louisville and the NCAA tournament. And if you don't mind, opening remarks about being here, and then we'll take questions from the room.
So excited, first of all, to be in Louisville. Great basketball city. Love to play in the Yum Center. So really, really ready to get playing. It's been almost, it feels like a month. So we flew in yesterday. Team's ready, getting focused. But I said, I thought we were playing today. All last night I said tomorrow to the team tomorrow. And they're like, Coach, we play Saturday. So we're just excited to be here. Team's excited. We're ready. And we're just proud that we're representing the University of Rhode Island in March Madness. First time in 30 years. So great to be here. Great to be in Louisville. And we're just ready to go.
Awesome. Thank you. Questions from the room? Over here on the right side.
Hey, Coach, Talia Goodman with On3. You mentioned first time in 30 years that you're here. Obviously, you were able to experience this as a player a good amount of times, and your first time as a head coach now. Just what's the sense you've gotten of how special this is for this program and these student athletes, and what's it like to be back?
First of all, it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Talia. I follow you on social media, and thank you for representing and covering women's basketball. You do a great job, so thank you. The girls are extremely excited. We've had one player experience March Madness before out of our 14, just one. And so the feeling is gratitude and excitement and joy and fun. And the one thing from my past experiences as a coach and a player is really keeping them focused. The distractions are galore. The littlest things, from media availability to the gifts in the locker room, like that sets them off. All the little things that are different than a normal regular season game or even an A10 tournament championship game. It's the distractions. It's you lose focus on why you're here, and you got to keep them laser sharp. And so over the past couple days is really mental focus. It's really approaching their mentality and trying to explain what they're about to see, not just the competition on the court, everything off the court. And so that's been our biggest focus as a coaching staff is really mentally preparing our kids to stay focused, stay sharp, and no distractions. No distractions. We're here to play a game and to win a game. One game at a time, 40 minutes.
Two in the front row. You start on the end there.
Bill Koch with the Providence Journal. Tammy, you were in the tournament recently with Syracuse, so it hasn't been since you were a player. But the question remains: just when you check into the hotel and you see the facility and you see the swag in the locker room or whatever else, just how much has the event grown from the time that you were a player at Virginia?
When I was a player at Virginia and we went to our first Final Four, we had to play back-to-back. There was no day in between. There was no rest because of TV. The explosion of the game was just happening. So you were lucky to get coverage. You were lucky to get a gift, a water bottle, a towel. Where, since the early 90s, where our game has gone, I have never been prouder. And the women that have paved the way for the game. So you now can see where we're at, television rights and the WNBA, and it is just an explosion. And as a pioneer, and I'm not that old, there were pioneers before me: Nancy Lieberman, Annie Myers, Ann Donovan, you name it. To be a part of that, of where it was to where it is, and get to have this group of student athletes experience that, there's no bigger joy. But the game, everything about television, our coverage, media, it's just a whole different bear. It's on another level. And I have never been prouder to be a part of women's basketball.
Natalie Heverin with the 9 Sports. Without giving away your game plan for tomorrow, what are some of the keys to the game for you and your team?
First key to the game is take care of the basketball. You have to have 10 to 8 turnovers against Bama. You have to take care of the basketball. We must get shots and score. I'll give you the keys to the game. We got to do us. We're focused on us. Second one is transition defense and offense. We have to play at great pace, and we have to keep them out of the open floor. Third, defend the three. They shoot the ball at 36% three-point, and they've got a lot of three-point shooters, a lot. So defend the three, run them off the three-point line, make them take tough contested twos. And the last one is when you play an SEC basketball team, you better rebound. You better box out. And they're big, they're strong, they're physical at every position. So those are the 4 key points that pretty much all year, when we do each one of those 4 successfully, we've been in games and we've been able to win games. So it's no different. Now you have to execute at a whole nother level against this caliber of team and, again, on this stage.
Okay. We'll stay on this side, and then we'll come over to you guys. Thank you. Yeah. Bill first, and then Natalie, and then we'll just...
You've spoken about this before, but Albina went a little bit into detail about international recruiting and the way that you were able to get kids to be comfortable choosing Rhode Island and ultimately get them to settle on campus. And I know that you and Coach A, that was something that you wanted to do when you both came in. I wonder, just a few years on now, just with so many success stories that you've had from overseas kids, just, how you look at that strategy and how impactful it's been for you.
When Coach Amadou and myself came from Syracuse and we took this job, we knew we had to have a recruiting game plan. And when you're really bad, you're last in the league, and no American kid or club coach will call you back, you had to have a plan. And our plan was the pipeline from international route, especially France. We had a lot of kids that wanted to come and play here. And so to get good and improve, you have to have talent. So our plan was international talent. Now, how that's changed and morphed, once you start winning, well, now people will call you back. Now you have shot at kids you had no business of getting on the phone. And so it started with the international pipeline. And once you do what you say you're going to do for them, their agents, their national team coaches, the pipeline comes. Because when you give them back to them and you do what you said, they love you. Here comes the next one and the next one. It's no different than here with the AAU circuit. But as we've changed, as we started winning, now we can recruit more in the States. And I've really tried to balance it out now and not go so heavy international where, I like a little bit more of my personality, a little bit more of the flavor, the energy, the communication, all the things that great guards bring, especially in the locker room. I need personality. I need energy. I like fire. I like coaching me. And so being able to find people like Brooklyn Gray to come and transfer here and not go power forward, be able to find Vanessa Harris signing a big-time recruit out of D.C. to get her to come here and not power four. Now we're in the mix. And so now we've really been able to branch out and use both routes to really make us successful and try to sustain excellence.
Front row, yep.
Natalie Heverin, the 9 Sports. You talked about this, the A10 tournament, and even after the championship game, Brooklyn talked about wanting to work on having a better first half heading into the NCAA tournament. Is that something you were able to work on over the last week and a half? And if so, how has that been a focus?
You can try to prepare for how you start games. You plan practice accordingly, making sure you start a practice with energy, everything you need to start a game. But on this stage, it's really hard to prepare. Nothing's like a game. It just isn't. When those cameras come and the lights turn on and you got Bama looking you straight in the eye, they're going to have to start really well and really disciplined and solid. So what we've prepared to the best of our ability is starting practice where all our key points, limit turnovers. Are we hitting and boxing out? Are we doing everything we need to do those first 4 minutes? By that first media timeout, can we execute our game plan? So we've tried to replicate that every day in practice to the best of our ability, and that's all you can do. Now, how they react, again, their mental psyche, once that game starts, some of these kids are going to have jitters. It's the natural way, but how quickly can we settle down and be ready to fight and execute our game plan? First 4 minutes are key. They really are.
Thanks, Coach. We have two in the second row here. We'll start on the end.
Charlie Adams, Good 5 Cent Cigar. Coach, mapping out is your first time at March Madness as a head coach, just the break and managing your players' health. How did the players respond to it, and just how are they feeling entering this weekend?
Well, after we won the championship, we had to give them a couple days off. There was a very big break before you even know your opponent. So getting their legs back, getting them healthy, giving them a good rest, because at this time of the year, it's really health. You got to avoid, you need a little luck. You got to avoid sickness. You got to avoid injury. So getting their legs back, getting them refreshed. We took a couple days off and then really just focused on us until we knew our opponent. Once we knew who we were playing Alabama, then it's scout time. So we really didn't prep for Alabama, but the last 3 days of practice is really implementing our game plan, how we're going to defend them, how we're going to score against them. But the prior week, it was all about getting healthy and focusing on us, taking care of the basketball, executing defensively, rebounding, transition, everything we've done all year long. And they did a really, really good job. They stay focused, had great energy, and showed up every day like they want to win a basketball game.
Thanks, Coach. Middle, second row.
Chase Abrams, WRIU. Coach, you talked about the keys to the game a little bit earlier. I wanted to build on that. Is there one specific player you're looking out for in Alabama and one specific player on your squad that you're going to look to deal with them?
Great question. There is one specific guard that I think is a menace. I think she has the total package. She shoots the three at almost 40%. She attacks the rim at will and really leads their team. And when they need a bucket, they'll run ISO plays for her, and that's Jessica Timmons. I mean, leading scorer, just a great guard. She really is. And, to combat that, we're going to take our all-defensive A10 player. For us is Inez Debro. We're gonna match up Inez, and we may switch a lot. And in transition, you can't control who guards her, but we have a game plan for Jessica, and as deservingly so. Great guard again, and then even a big. They have a great big inside, Essence, and she can get the ball on the block, and she can score, and she can rebound. So we're gonna have to take the big away, and we're gonna have to take Jessica away. However, their guard play is outstanding. It's not just Jessica. All of them shoot the ball at a 36% clip from the three, and they have multiple ones. And they all are great athletes that attack the basket, dribble, kick, great decision makers. So you're going to have to defend. You're going to have to be able to keep in front. You're going to have to defend one-on-one, and you're going to have to run them off the three-point line. Now, what makes that so hard is that three ball sets up everything. As soon as the eyes go up and the pump fake goes up and you have to close out, well, here comes the drive. So it's what makes them lethal. And they're very, very, very well coached. Christy does an excellent job. Their game plan offensively, and when you watch them, their game plan defensively. So, credit to Christy every year. I think this is her 14th season. 14 or 15, getting to the big dance and experience, and I was just really impressed with the job she's done with this crew. So, guard play, we're going to have to defend it, and then inside, Essence is a problem. Going to have to keep her off the block and keep her off the boards.
Coach, thanks. Time for one more here, Steve.
Steve Bittenbender, Associated Press. Coach, I asked Jeff Walls this earlier today about scheduling in the women's game, and he mentioned that, it's a financial issue now, that, where he would try to go to South Dakota State for a game, he needs that game here. From a Rhode Island perspective, you had games at Rutgers, you had games at NC State. Are you finding those games harder to come by now, and especially so since you won at NC State earlier this year?
There are coaches in this business that they won't duck you. They won't. Wes Moore at NC State, he'll call us every year to play and give us good money to play, and he doesn't duck, and he wants to play top mid-majors. And so for me, it's a little different story than Jeff because, yes, it gets difficult, but all the top mid-majors, and they're still net quad one wins. The Princetons and Villanovas, they'll play you. Fairfields, Richmonds, non-conference, not Richmond, but they'll play you, and then you'll always have great P4s that don't duck. that not only will play you, but give you great money. And then in return, you can use that, put it in your pot, stir it up, and have some money for NIL. So for me, scheduling's not really difficult. 2 years ago, it was a little bit more. As we got good, the only difficult part of scheduling for us is no one will play us at home under us. I can't get a home and home with any team that isn't really good. They want money, and they want a lot of money. So now our school stepped up and really gave us a great guarantee pot where we can go out and buy 4 or 5 home games. And in this realm, it's really, really important you play at home and you win. And so having that guarantee money is just, it's been a lifesaver for us, where scheduling outside of that was really difficult. And now that the university supports and gives us that, made it so much easier. So this year it's been really, and we've gotten a handle. As a first-time head coach a couple years ago, scheduling's probably figuring out analytically how to get into the NCAA tournament is probably the hardest part about scheduling, and then going about building that non-conference. So as I've gotten better as a head coach with scheduling, and Agni does most of my scheduling, we've really found a science to it. But for us, it's been buy games at home and winning those games. It has been the biggest challenge. And the past 2 years, it has not been, due to the fact that we have buy game guarantee money now.
Thanks for your time. That's it. We're out of time.
Thank you.
Good luck tomorrow. We'll see you then.
All right, here we go. Go Rhode.
Just a reminder, Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Thank you.